Hi, guys.
Hey, Mrs. Boggs.
I like that because I can hear it.
See what I told you.
Now, I don't.
Turn around that way and look at Miss Boggs. Y'all ready? Here you go. The word of God is like little bitty seeds scattered all around. The word of God is like little bitty seeds scattered all around. You got some in the road, some in the weeds, but everywhere you look, you got little bitty seeds. The word of God is like little bitty seeds scattered all around. When I get to heaven, gonna walk with Jesus. When I get to heaven, gonna see his face. When I get to heaven, gonna talk with Jesus. Saved by his wonderful grace, for I am saved, 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 wonderfully saved. Saved by the blood of the Lamb, for I am saved, 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 wonderfully saved. His child wherever I am. Good job.
Guys, I wish I could sing. I've been singing with you.
Okay, I'm gonna roll you, but Travis, will you cut that on for me? We got something we want you to watch.
I've got this.
Are you going to pick me up? My last two falls have
I
been.
won't pick you up, Miss Boggs. Can y'all see? Can y'all see okay?
Please tell me, are you going to show me what we did
I
yesterday?
need to cut the line. You think I need to cut the line straight?
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay, now we're going to have a good time because you're going to jig because I played for you. Now, how do you like that?
Mrs. Boggs, I am so glad that I was able to work with you in the toddler Sunday school class, and through you and your testimony and your Christian life, I think I'm doing a good job, and it's all due to you letting me sit with you. I love you.
Miss Boggs, I just want to tell you what a blessing you've been to me over the years. I've worked with you for many years with young people, and you have been a true blessing. And I've seen Christ in your life every time. I've seen you talk to these young people, how you taught them. I look at Josh as he leads the singing and think how he was in our youth group out here at the old fellowship building, and you used to practice singing with him. God has truly had his hand on your life, and we love you.
Hey, Miss Boggs, I just want to tell you on behalf of me, Roger, and my family, we certainly appreciate everything that you've done through the years to be an example of what a true Christian is and to encourage us to be missionaries right where we are. I know we can't go and travel the world around, but Lord, you have definitely made us understand what being a missionary right here at our church and in our community is truly about. And I want to thank you for all your love and encouragement through good times and bad times through the years. And I just hope that today is a joy for you. I hope that we can just spend time to just show you a little bit of how much we appreciate you. We love you and thank you for all you do.
Mrs. Boggs, on behalf of all of the leaders, all of the people who used to be young and you impacted our lives, I want to say thank you. Heroes come in many shapes and forms, and I'm thankful to say that I have a hero in Mrs. Boggs and the life that you have shown for years, impacting not just the young ones, but everybody in between. I want to say thank you. We love you. Can't wait to see what you do next for God.
I remember when the Boggs family first came to this church, and one of us wouldn't just a little bit after our introduction, we got talking. She said, "I love youth, preacher." She said, "I love youth." I'll never forget that. And she says, "I love to work with all ages. It doesn't matter." She said, "Because God put that in my heart." Amen. In these years, I've seen that so true, and really a real servant of Christ, a real blessing to our church. To show you how God works things, I had to go to the doctor yesterday morning. This little nurse walked in, never seen her before, and she says, "Preacher Randy." I said, "Yeah." She said, "You know, Mason, I used to, well, I'm grown now, I've got a little girl and everything." She said, "I used to come to the youth things, and I come to Awanas, and I came to all this." And she said, "And I remember," said, "there was a lady there." And I said, "I bet I know who you're talking about." And I said, "Sister Beverly Boggs." She said, "Oh, yes, it's sung those songs, and we just had a..." She said, "Is she still?" I said, "Yep. Matter of fact, tomorrow." Well, she said, "You tell her." I said, "Hey," and I thought about this, and Brother Mark, we brought in a lot of kids that are now adults. Yes, sir. That now have children. And I say this because, Sister Beverly laid out a good example. Following Christ. Amen. And doing what God has put in your heart. And I want to say, Sister, I'm so thankful I'm your pastor, and you're my sister in the Lord, and I love you. Amen.
I love you too. I want to say this. If it wasn't for one of my sons and his wife, Holly Christie, they told me they came here to visit, and they live too far away now to come. But he said, "Mom, I found a church for you." I said, "How do you know I'm looking for one?" He said, "If you're not, you will be." Amen. And this is where I came. Amen. And even when I can't drive at night, so I go to the little church close. But this is my home.
Amen. Amen.
This is my home.
Amen. Amen. Well, we love you. Amen. We love you.
Well, I'll just make it short and sweet to the point. Yesterday talked about, being inspired and being an inspiration. And I have been under you for 18 years now, almost 19. And you have not only inspired my family, but me. And always talking about, picking up the torch when you can't carry it anymore. And I know the other day we talked about Haley and Jamie picking it up for you. But I just want you to know that you have little mini torches for all of us.
Amen.
And I know I'm not going to be ever as good as you, but
You don't want to be like me.
trust me, you're an inspiration and I want to be like you, but I will
Amen.
carry that mini torch for you.
Right. Amen. Amen.
I'll go since you was talking about that torch. It's been, how many years ago was that? 6, 8 years ago, I guess? It's been a long time. Been doing camps for a long time. I love working with Miss Boggs, but Mark and Travis, all of us have been together forever. But sitting right back there where Miss Nancy's at, she brought that same lesson and said, I'm not going to live forever. And I was like, you're 120 already? What are you saying? She said, one day I'm going to pass the torch, and somebody's going to have to carry it.
Amen.
And that day, like me and God just had ourselves a little time back there. Because he just sat down and said, you know what? You're going to pick that torch up and you're going to carry it.
And you know, I wasn't even looking at you.
No, you sure would. Because I think it was doing pre-teen camp, just right back here, just talking to everybody else. And it's like God just dealt with me right back there and said, you're going to pick that torch up, you're going to carry it.
Amen.
And Lord willing, I'm going to keep on doing it too. I love doing camps.
Amen. Amen.
But, to God put that in me. God used you to put that in me, sitting right back there.
Amen.
But thank you.
Amen.
What happened to the little boy?
Yeah, that's right.
I don't really talk a lot, but
Prove it.
But I just want to thank you for the godly example you put on my life and for the love of the little kids and for the whole entire church. And just thank you for that.
Amen.
I love you too. And I'm proud of the way you grew up.
Amen.
Mrs. Boggs, I meant what I said on the video. You truly are a hero of mine, and I know a lot of people that when we get together and we talk, Brother Jamie and I, a lot of times the leaders are talking, our goal is, and my prayer, I understand what you were saying to Megan, because my prayer is that these young people will do way more than I could ever dream of. But the foundation of consistency, your dedication to the Lord, your care for service, your ability to push on no matter what, will forever be an inspiration and one of those teaching moments in my life. And I'm forever grateful for what you have done for the youth ministry as well as Golden Creek Baptist Church and beyond. And you will never know what an inspiration you are to youth leaders and youth workers, and how many times you're an example when I'm talking to kids and adults about someone who would rather burn out than fade away. And I want you to know we love you, and I appreciate the way you have impacted my life. And you are one of my heroes. And I'll say it on the video, and you can share it with the world, and I'll say it to your face. I love you.
I love you too, Travis. Thank you so much.
That little boy, when she was swinging, was me.
When we were at camp one year, I do have a picture of me sliding down a water slide with some young kids, and under it I put, "You're never too old."
Well, for the time that I've known you, you've always been giving a testimony in church and stuff like that, and you've made a big impact on my life.
Thank you, my daddy.
Well, for those who didn't have the privilege of going to camp with Miss Boggs, we had an excellent time, especially at wake-up time in the morning. She would always blare the music out really loud, getting ready, and she'd sing all the songs. And when you're at preteen camp and teen camp, by Wednesday you're like, oh, please, Miss Boggs. But you know, those are the songs that we remember through the years. We were talking yesterday about seeing the signs of times to come and things. And immediately the song, The Countdown's Getting Lower Every Day, came to mind. And some of the things that we do instead, you know, I start thinking, oh, be careful, little eyes, what you see. And Miss Boggs helped teach those songs. And as we're adults, when you get older, you'll remember those songs too. But I just appreciate you for all that you've done and everything. And every time I see my kids at school and think of something, I have the opportunity to sing those songs too, because you helped me remember all those songs through the years, and I can hear you, not just anybody. I can hear Miss Boggs singing those songs to me. So thank you so much for your service.
God bless you, and I'm glad you can use it.
Okay. Hey, Miss Boggs, how you doing?
Fine. You gonna walk the streets with me? And
Yes,
knock on
ma'am.
doors?
Yes, ma'am. We have done that many a times. Now, I met Miss Boggs all the way back in 1997. And the very first time I heard about Miss Boggs was we was in the hospital. The preacher and I was sitting at the foot of Miss Rosetta's bed. She was about half dead. And she was telling him to hurry up and hire me so she could go home from the hospital. And so we got all that worked out. He said, this is what's going to happen. He said, you're going to get to Golden Creek and you're going to love a lady named Miss Boggs. I'm thinking, okay, well, that sounds good. Let's find out. So I came in, and Mrs. Boggs has always been a trooper. I've drug her all over the world. She has been to Guadalajara, Mexico. We jumped off the airplane. She got her a sombrero and a harmonica, and she went out and started witnessing and ministering to kids. We've been through the Holy Land together and all over the place. But one thing that I enjoy about Mrs. Boggs, that when I first came in over here and heard about her, is she was so passionate about reaching boys and girls. She had a Good News Club in her back, or Backyard Bible Club is what she called it. And from that, the Lord has burdened me, and we've been able to start the Good News Club in the school. And so now, I think quite often I go in there and I have 150 kids in the public school I'm able to preach to once a week, and I'm thinking about Miss Boggs, and I'm sitting there with all those kids hanging all over me, and I'm thinking about, Miss Boggs started this. And she's always been an inspiration. Miss Boggs, we love you, and it's been a blessing to serve with you, and I'm excited to see what else the Lord's going to do with you. I just have one request. It's almost like this is a funeral. You're not quitting, are you?
No.
Okay, just making sure. My only thought, if this was a funeral, I would request one thing.
What?
I want your harmonica.
No.
Yeah, no. I want it, Mrs. Boggs. This is the reason being. Mrs. Boggs will always say, you can't have my harmonica. She said, because it's like borrowing somebody's toothbrush. It is, isn't it? It is. And another thing Mrs. Boggs does not like. Boogers. She don't do well with that.
Chewing gum.
Yeah, chewing gum, snot, anything like that. She don't like those words. And she used to hate to come to my house when I lived in 6 Mile, because I lived right off of Booger Branch. So Brother Mark, I just don't like coming to your house anymore. So I appreciate Mrs. Boggs. And look, you have 6 of them.
I'll put you in my will.
Yeah, put me in the wheel for one of them at least. I want one of them, and I'm going to look at you and blow it at the same time, so you know I finally have done it, Mrs. Boggs. I love you. Amen. Thank you for your service.
Just I love you. I love you. You've grown up so fast. Don't cry.
Amen.
Thank you for all you do, because
Amen.
You're welcome.
Amen.
He puts us where he wants us. And when he opens the door, you step through it, and that's what I do. And if I fall, he picks me up. Okay? Remember that.
Amen.
You know what? This didn't start with me. When I went down to Louisiana years ago, and a lady who, she is responsible for who I am. Her name was Miss Mary Perry, and all the books that look so old and torn up, when we moved, she gave me those books. So the stories you're listening to came from somebody else who was my mentor.
Amen.
So, and when you grow up, you will have somebody that you can mentor. So just pass it on. I love that old song. It only takes a spark to get a fire going. But that's how it is with God's love. And that's how it is with this. We pass it on, and that's what I want to leave you with.
Amen.